So 303 today, we're talking about some standouts in yesterday's matchup between Toronto and Florida, game two, and a surprising matchup where we saw Toronto, they faded off a little bit early on in the game, but they had started to get traction a little bit more, and they were really staying even keel with Florida for most of the game. And obviously they are able to take the win, take game two in a surprising, I would say, 2-0 series lead against the Panthers so far. Now, it's only a 2-0 series lead. It's also the Toronto Maple Leafs, so you never know what can happen there. Anything can happen, and the Leafs, we've known what can happen with them in years past, so it's not something you can get too far ahead of yourselves with, but they are up 2-0 on the defending Stanley Cup champs right now, and they're out playing them and heading back to Florida now. It's going to be interesting to see if anything turns in Florida's favor, obviously outside of the home ice. I think Florida needs to get a lot more offense going, not just from Matthew Tkachuk and Barkov and Reinhart and those guys. I think throughout their lineup, they haven't really been able to provide a lot of sustained impact. Like the first game they scored, believe it was 4 goals, and they haven't necessarily been bad. Like their depth has still been contributing, but I think they need their top guns to be their top guys, especially with what we saw last night with Mikko Rantanen in Dallas, basically carrying the Dallas Stars on his back the last handful of games now, 2 or 3 games, going back to I believe game six in St. Louis. And I think you need some of that out of Florida right now. Like you don't necessarily need a ton, you don't need a hat trick in one period from a guy. You just need guys to be able to be consistent and be regular offensive contributors. I think that's what Florida needs right now. And if they can't afford to go down 3-0, but I would imagine they're going to make a really strong push with their top guys in game three and really start to hit their stride a little bit more. I don't exactly know how it's going to go for them, but it's going to be interesting. And game three, like I said, heading back to Florida, there's just a lot of really good qualities that the Leafs are bringing throughout this game, and obviously Max Pacioretty and William Nylander get together. I think that's been the story of this round so far, just because of how they played together, how they move off each other, how they read off each other. I think those two together, along with Tavares, has just been a really, really nice fit and just a really seamless transition. And they've just continued to get better. They've continued to look better, and they've continued to show their scoring instincts in many different ways, especially Nylander. So that's been really great to see. Willie had a really nice finesse play on his goal early on in the game. And from that point on, it was just like they're getting contributions. I thought game two, Austin Matthews was a little bit quiet compared to his game one. Game one, he didn't have any offense going either, but he's still very active offensively and defensively. I think game two is very quiet for him. But game two, we noticed guys like Marner, we noticed Tavares, we noticed Nylander. Like those are the three guys that you really want to have going if you're not having Matthews going. And they were regular contributors, which is really good to see, especially Tavares. I really like and really enjoyed Tavares and how he's able to make smart reads on and off the puck and with his body positioning and stuff like that. Really smart in terms of his anticipation, how he weaponizes that, and just really sound in the ozone as well. Just does a really good job all around. And outside of guys like Nylander and Pacioretty, I think one of the guys who had a more effective game, who's been relatively quiet throughout the playoffs so far, was Bobby McMahon and Joseph Woll as well. I think Joseph Woll was awesome in that, but Bobby McMahon, it was a much more positive showing from him. I think just the way he was able to contribute offensively and the way he was able to work to get pucks back, the way he was able to forecheck, game retrieval on the forecheck, seal the walls, game potty position, stuff like that. A lot of elements that go unnoticed oftentimes, but with Bobby McMahon, such an important player for them, and they need their depth scoring and to be able to continue to go on a run like they've shown so far, they need their depth involved. And I feel like defensively, they've shown that depth in net. They've shown that depth as well. Like Anthony Stolarz has gone down, and Joseph Woll came in and looked awesome in net, which is really good to see. And it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the series goes for Florida. I think as for Florida side, obviously guys like I think Matthew Tkachuk was very quiet in this game, which is relatively unknown come playoff time for him. I thought Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett were effective, which those two aren't surprising me. Mackie Samoskevich was really effective around the net, being able to get to second and third pucks and being able to get retrieval situations and being able to find open ice, open space around the crease, and really underrated around the net front. He has a lot of skill, a lot of tenacity, a lot of flair in his offensive game, but I think he's really underrated around the net and how he's able to weaponize that part of his game. And outside of that, I think Seth Jones was noticeable too, and noticeable in terms of transitioning the puck, being able to move the puck up ice, outlet pucks with keeping pucks flat on the ice and being able to maneuver up ice and just being able to be effective all around in all situations is something that he does and provides an asset with. And he's a guy you can rely upon in transition. You can rely upon in the O zone, in the D zone, a lot of different situations, and he plays a lot of minutes, obviously, too. So he was very effective yesterday. I noticed him a lot more than Aaron Ekblad. I thought Jones was way more effective and was the most noticeable defenseman on their D core. Just the way he's able to be involved offensively and even defensively as well.